Okay guys, it's Damned here again, back to continue this video series. We're going to work on expanding out our weapons on the character sheet. So I want to make sure these weapons are functioning as they need to, so that we can get ready to add them into the combat tracker. So we've got here our revolver, and we've got an attack button, we've got a damage section. This is the rate of fire, range, ammo, how many in the clip or how many before we need to reload. This is trained, untrained, so we need to make this interactive for the player, so that they can set whether it's trained or not, or we have to do some lookups, pattern matching in the character sheet. Now, my thoughts with that is that will be problematic because whilst this just is revolver or submachine gun, many players will want to put a specific make and model of weapon in there, and then it will no longer match. So I think this is simply going to be a button that you can tick trained or untrained on. And then we've got stun and burst, and as we know in the last video, we started setting up some extra stuff for burst, so that if we do have to do burst, some of these other figures might be different. And of course, yeah, so let's get started into this. So we might start with something easy, damage, and we'll set up damage to make it rollable. So our weapon detail window class is the one that we're looking at the moment, and this particular field here is the damage one. So what we're going to do here is dice roll string is going to be something like self. Right? We know that we're writing in here 2d6 or 1d6 plus 1 or 1d6. We're going to use the modifier stack, so we have to reset it. We're not going to do a result handler file just yet, but we probably will. A role description. Alright, let's do something like damage and then name. That's going to grab the name field from here, so it's going to say like damage revolver. Role type. We're not going to use role types. I don't think we really need to. Secret role, targeting type. Look, I think that we're going to write each here, and I think the only time this really matters is for explosives, and explosives are actually going to be difficult to handle and are probably going to have some manual handling in here. Use modifier stack true. Yep. Okay, let's push this and let's go check it out. What I'm hoping to see when we do this is that I can double click on this damage field. It's going to roll. 4 plus 1, so 5, and it says damage revolver. Easy. Let's try submachine gun. 2 damage and damage submachine gun. So that works as planned, hoped for. Awesome. For attacks, we'll start simply. Let's just get the D20 rolling. So we'll click our attack icon. We make it dice roll string 1d20, reset modifier stack true, result handler file, we're going to have to use one of those, role description, we're going to let's do something like attack name. This is probably going to change later on. Role type, secret role, targeting type, each, and modifier stack true. Okay, let's just publish that. It's got no automation in it just yet, so but if we double click on attack, yeah, just rolling a d12 and it's saying an attack with revolver, attack with submachine gun. Perfect. Alright, now what we want to do is we need to send a whole bunch of extra information with this, because we're needing to send base hit, bonus, we need to look up whether the weapon skill is trained or untrained, we need to look up if there are any bonus modifiers in the weapon. We need to check if it is ranged or melee and add any dex or strength bonuses. So there's a fair bit of stuff we want to do there. Let's switch back to the Ruleset Wizard. I think the first thing we need to do is make some room for a to hit bonus. So let's grab these two, unblock them, move them over 22 pixels, which means we need to shorten this one by the same amount, 118. And let's grab this number field, or let's lock everything first. Grab this number field, I think that should fit. Let's lock it and check it out. What did we copy firstly? So box number rate of fire, this is going to be to hit, and default value is going to be 0. You know what, it doesn't need a default, so it can pick it up from the weapon properties. I think it should be read only, that's correct. And it's going to just be called to hit, and I think that's it. Let's try that. Let's push that. Actually, we don't need to push it just yet. What we're going to do is on this one we need to prep before we do the roll. So on before dice roll, we want to find out the weapon node. Now remembering, when we do this on something in a list, it's actually going to pull out the list node entry. So this is going to pull out gun number 2 in weapon list and on character sheet XYZ. So local node car, that's who we are. There's window get database node dot get parent, and usually 2 get parents because we get past the node that we're in and then past the list itself. And now we want to get, say, local n to hit equals node, so it's going to be on the weapon, node weapon dot get child to hit, get value. Let's do a debug there. Okay, then we want to get we want to find out, is this weapon a melee weapon or a ranged weapon? So local S type is equal to node weapon dot get child, and it's just going to be called, what's the type called here? So type here is called weapon type. Debug.chat. Alright, we want to find out, okay, if weapon type, no, if S type is equal to, and equal to is 2 equals. If it's a single equal, it's trying to set it to a value. equals is comparing it to a value. If S-type is equal to ranged, then debug.chat, let's use dex, else if S-type equals melee, then debug.chat, let's use strength. Else something's wrong. And the thing that's probably likely to be wrong on this is that it's possibly storing it with a capital R or capital M, but we'll find out. Okay, now we need to find out if the weapon is trained or untrained. So we need to see what that looks like in the database. Actually, it's just here. Trained is field trained, and it's a checkbox, so it's going to be simply a on or off or something like that. So why don't we just do local n trained equals and then we want to do the debug Why the hell am I debugging weapon type? I'm going to debug S-type. Okay, and then we want to get the let's do this above. Reasons might make clear later on, just an organizational thing, not anything strict. Local n base hit bonus is equal to node car, get child BHB. We're going to do the same for n, what's this going to be called? Strength mod is equal to strength mod, and debug that. Dex we want to also debug what so we know what this one is. Trained let's see, n burst debug chat burst. We want to do the same for stunned. I'm not sure how stunned works just yet in terms of how this is going to play out. Mode over stun. Alright, there's a lot of stuff going on there. I'm sure that at least one of them is going to be wrong. So let's push it and we'll test. How many errors have we got? 53. End expected to close the function. Of course. Such a basic error. Okay, hadn't even done what I thought I'd done, left off the end at the end. What I've done is I had a space in my else if, so, and that basically started a new if statement, and so I'd only ended one of the if statements. So we've got if, else, end. Hopefully that's a bit tighter, a bit more accurate. Alright, no load errors. Let's hit the sheet up. Now let's double click on Revolver. Huh, I don't think we got any errors. So unfortunately I didn't nominate what all of these things are, but I think this is base hit bonus, which is 0. Then I've got a dexterity modifier, 1, and then the strength modifier, 1, and 0. I don't know what 0 was for. I was a bit lazy in some of my debugs, so let's put them in. Okay, the next one that I was in question was the to hit bonus for the weapon. Then we've got a weapon type. Okay, let's use blah blah blah. Train. The rest of those were labelled. Okay, let's go and see what else we had showing up there. Okay, ranged. It's a ranged weapon, so it says let's use dex. So it actually worked. Sweet. Trained says 0. So our weapon here says it's untrained, so that's correct. Burst says 0. And this unfortunately is showing as burst is on and stun is on. So there's a mismatch here. So why is there a mismatch? Probably there's a field name mismatch. So let's dive into that one quickly. This is why I litter everything with so much debug that makes your eyes hurt. Alright, trained. Okay, so here off icon is stun and on icon is empty. So I just got these the wrong way around. Ha! That might be the easiest fix ever. Empty and stun, untrained, and this one is, oof, what have we got here? Oh, I delete, so it's showing up the wrong one, so burst. Okay, burst is off. That should be empty, and that should be burst. Okay, now, unfortunately, one of my weapons should actually have that value. A little reboot. Okay, so stun off, which is correct for both of these, but burst is off for both of these, so I reckon there's a field mismatch. Let's dive in and see if we can work that one out. So we'll confirm both of them, right? Untrained is not in the weapons property because it's specific to this user. Stun, however, our field is called stun, and in item weapon it's called, I don't even have that field. Awesome. So we need to add stun in there. Let's find the other one first as well. And we've got burst. Burst. It's a checkbox, so it should just be on or off or 1 or 0. And it's called burst. And over here it's called what? Burst. Same, it's just a checkbox. Burst. So really, that one should be working for one of these weapons. What have we got in the weapon properties? No, our submachine gun isn't set up to burst. Okay, well, there we go. Burst is on now. Ammo used is 5, To hit bonus is 2, and damage is 2d6 plus 2. That's for our submachine gun. Okay, our revolver is correct, no burst. But we also need a property type for stun. We'll come back to that one. So, if I shoot with a submachine gun, it should tell me, okay, base hit bonus is 0, correct. Strength mod 1, dex mod 1, to hit 0. It's range, so let's use dex. I'm untrained. Burst is true, and stun is false. Let's just do a sand check here. Okay, we've made dex modifier 2, and we'll try it again. And dex modifier is 2, that's fantastic. Alright, so they're all working. We've got to add stun in. This sheet is getting bigger and bigger. I guess the other part is that probably at some point it needs to know if it's explosive or not. Let's check the... So, explosions. Explosive attacks will cause the listed damage to everything within the 5-foot grid of the explosion's point of origin. So, I wonder, let's go back and see the equipment. Frag and flashbang. So they're like handheld. So they're getting messy. So these guys have some sort of attack roll still required, whereas other ones don't. So let's just stick a checkbox in there for the moment so that we can at least track whether it's explosive, and the other one for stun. Right, let's make you 86 height, and you can start at 187, and we want to grab you and you. Okay, we'll lock these. Probably a mistake because we've got to stun label. Stun explosive label. So the label needs to be longer. And we need to move it over. Oof, wrong way. Too much. Somewhere around there. Aha. And this field is called explosive. Okay, so we're going to need more stuff on our character sheet. Anyway, let's push this one, see what it visually looks like. So we haven't added anything to the character sheet just here. What we've done is add stuff to items, firearms. Let's open all three of these up. Right, so a revolver is not a burst weapon, it's not stun and not explosive. Great. Semi-automatic pistol is not burst, explosive or stun. Great. And a submachine gun is, we only edited the one on our character sheet. Ammo used is 5. To hit is +2. Damage is 2d6 plus 2. It's not stun and it's not explosive, so we'll leave those unticked. Okay, and on our character sheet, better open these up and let them populate as well. Okay, so When we did this attack, so stun is still 0. Okay, so that's all finding everything there. That's great. What we're going to have to do next is send all that data along with the roll to a script to handle the attack roll and to determine the actual dice roll and how much, and whether it hits or not. So let's do that in the next video.